Hello and welcome to another episode of the Help Yourself podcast. This podcast is all about hearing people's stories and hopefully finding information and learning things from their stories that can help and inspire you. Joining me on this week's episode is none other than personal trainer and fitness influencer, Ciara London.
Is it sad that I'm clapping for
No,
myself?
You should clap for yourself.
Go on, Ciara.
Go on, yes, round of applause. Just to explain to people, so just in case you need to stop talking and you need me to cover you, you've obviously you're so busy at the moment, teaching and PTing all the time. Shouting, the gym environment's noisy, you've got to be heard. Maybe you just need to get yourself a day-to-day microphone so you can just talk at a really quiet level.
Do you know what's so funny? I actually use a microphone.
As well, and still shout.
And I still shout. It's like, even with a microphone, I'm like, great, I could just shout a little bit louder.
Yeah.
It doesn't prevent me. It makes it worse.
I've trained with you, and you get like fully into it as well. So obviously, you know.
And in a class as well, you find that like the microphone needs to like build the room.
Yeah.
Sorry, not the microphone. Your voice.
Yeah,
needs
your
to
energy.
Build the room.
Yeah.
So even like with a mic on, I'll be like, 10, 9, 8, come on, go. You know, so you just end up shouting because you feel like people around you need it. So, and then an hour later, I'm like, oh no, I did it again. Yeah. So
it does make so much difference as well. Like for me, as someone who's like in a class or training with people, the difference to training on your own and not having that encouragement to having that encouragement, or like being in a class and, you know, like say you're doing burpees for a minute and you get to the last like 15 seconds and you're broken and you feel like, oh, I could just stop. And then the instructor then says something. It then makes you push out a couple of extra reps.
It's funny. I actually had this today with one of my clients because she did a set. We were doing back-to-back supersets and she did a set of exercises. And for the first set, I was uploading a video onto Instagram. So I wasn't really looking at what she was doing. And then for the second set, I was like focused on her. And I was like, how many reps did you do on the last set in a minute? And literally she like nearly doubled her reps when I was focused on her. And I was like, come on. Because it gave her the extra push. So it made me realise, God, I don't like put the phone away, deal with that at the end of the session. Like, don't, because people do need it and it does make them work so much harder. Yeah. That's why I think people go to classes now, like they want to feel like they're with other people.
Yeah, and getting encouraged. It's that challenge, isn't it?
100%.
A bit of healthy competition as well, that pushes you.
Oh my God, I'm so competitive. Yeah. If I'm in a class, I'm not even joking, I will nearly kill myself. You know, sometimes I've been in a class before and my heart rate has been so high that I thought, God, slow down. Like, you're literally going to give yourself a heart attack. So it's definitely healthy competition. I think it's an important element. And also it's like making something that's not really that fun. Yeah. Because you've got people around you who are kind of like like-minded.
And pushing you on a bit further. So let's talk about you, because this podcast is all about learning about people's stories, their journeys, and then how they've managed to achieve things, in the hope that hearing those stories can help other people and me as well. So it's kind of like me getting people that I look up to, that have inspired me, that I find inspiring, and having these kind of conversations with them to find out, no worries, it's the truth. So, and finding out like what, you know, how your mind kind of works and what your mental processes are to get you to that place and to that point as well. Because, so I know that you weren't always a personal trainer, right?
No. Oh yeah, we spoke about this before, didn't we? Yeah. So I worked in PR before, and like I'm one of them. I feel like all of us are the same. Yeah. I've sort of done a bit of everything. Yeah. You know, like when you're younger, you kind of fall into something, then you fall into something else, and then before you know it, you're something that you never thought you would be. And that's kind of what happened with me. I did like a degree in public relations, marketing and events management. And then I went into that, and then I got like a few years into that, and I just thought, it's really hard to like make good money in this job. And I just felt like I was like at a bit of a dead end. And then I just liked going to the gym, and then people kept asking me to come. They were like, my friends would be like, can I come and train with you? And it actually got a bit annoying, you know, and you're like, no, because this is like my happy place and you're ruining it. Go away. Sorry, friends. No, but you know, it's just more like it starts to become a bit irritating.
Yeah, because it's your alone time. It's your space to just
and you need
zone
that.
out.
Yeah. For me, it's like therapy. So I was like, when people are coming in, like, I don't want to have to talk to anyone. This is my time to like put my new playlist in and listen to it and have fun. And so eventually I just realised, well, if everyone wants to come and train with me, I might as well just do a course, and then I can say, yeah, you can, but you can pay me. And then so it kind of just went from there.
And were you still doing the PR job, and then you started?
Yeah, so for a year I did I worked in PR company. They were so cool. Like I really loved them. And they let me go off and do my PT course, and I reduced my hours and I went part-time. And then after that, I continued working there once I qualified, and I did like PT in the evenings and on the weekends, and I'd be doing PR during the day. And then it got to a point where I just thought like something's got to give, because I was working in central London till like 4, then I'd be starting clients from 5 till 10, and then all weekends were filled, and I just thought I actually can't do both of them, and it doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and you kind of like do the maths and you're like, it's just time to stop.
Bite the bullet and really go for it. You said that when going to the gym was kind of like therapy for you.
Yeah.
I think it's hugely kind of overlooked. I know people do talk about it, but the link between like good mental health and I guess like good physical health, or doing
100%.
some kind of exercise.
100%. Like, I think it's also partly to do with it's like there's actually science, you know, endorphins. Yeah. So that, you know, like a factor of it is science. But again, like I said, it's like being able to have, it's like therapy, because for me it's somewhere that I put my headphones on, and I'm such a sociable person. I'm always chatting to people, but in the gym it's probably my least sociable place. Although other people I think find therapy because they go there and they make friends with people, and they kind of, you know, like I see the same women and they're always like having a chat and like, or standing with their yoga mat and, you know, like stuff like that. So it works for different people in different ways. But for me, it's just like, I feel better because I've got some great music. I'm doing something it's making me sweat. I'm getting my happy hormones. It's like, I walk in and I'm really pissed off.
Yeah.
And I walk out and I'm like 10 out of 10. It turns my day around, like near enough every time.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
How did you discover that though? What point in your life was it you discovered that exercise was kind of like this
therapy?
Yeah.
I was in a really bad relationship. So like I was with someone for a long time, and I used to be like, you know, like in the evenings I'd be like worrying, and like it was just negative, a really negative time. And so it was the one place that I found like I wasn't checking my phone every minute. Like, what's he doing? Has he texted me? Where is he? You know, like, and I'd just go to the gym and I'd actually put my phone down. I'd be like, I don't care. You know, like it was like 1 to 2 hours of a day where I was like, I'm not worrying about somebody else.
Yeah.
It's me in here focusing on me. And then the benefit of that is like your body starts to change, you're healthier, you know, like you look better. So then when you kind of combine the two, it almost becomes addictive.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, I feel good, I look good, so like, why don't I just like keep
doing this?
Yeah.
Which makes so much sense. And I guess like one of the things that people know you for is your bum. So you've got an amazing bum.
Well, do you know what it is? I'm just like, naturally, I've always been very slim.
Yeah.
So like, I was like, I just wanted to build like my legs. And then the exercises that I enjoy are like leg exercises. I like squats. I like, you know, like, so just naturally it's like a byproduct of
doing all of those exercises.
All of that, yeah.
Which is a good byproduct to have.
It is, considering it's now in fashion. Back in the day, It was like skinny and no bum and big boobs. So yeah, I would have been screwed on that one.
But now, but it's become a bit of a thing, because I think it's like one of those things now that people, like women, if you go onto YouTube and you search like workouts, a lot, it will be like, you know, like glute workout, like a lot of the stuff kind of comes up about it. So I think it's something that is like, in a way, it's kind of your, I guess, like a little bit of your niche as well, where it's like, I've got these workouts and we focus like really heavily on like this area of the body.
With me, it's like I only train girls.
Yeah.
And so girls, we go to the gym for several reasons, as we said, like health or mental health, but also to aesthetically look better. I don't like this, I want to change this. I don't like that, and I want to change that. And that's okay. Like, I think that sometimes the whole like, you know, like accept your body and stuff, I think is great. But also on the flip side, if you want to be the best version of yourself, then like, don't feel bad for that. If you have an aesthetic goal, there's nothing wrong with that, you know, especially in a day where people are dying on surgery tables getting a BBL in Turkey.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's nothing wrong with actually just going to the gym and doing it naturally. So I think like being a female trainer, girls gravitate towards me because they look and they think, oh well, she seems to know what she's doing. Like it's working.
Yeah,
for
but you're evident.
girls.
I think your body is evidence that you know what you're doing as well. It's kind of like in a way, it's like you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk as well, because you have, you're the byproduct of your hard work.
I think it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So naturally, like if you live that lifestyle, it's just going to eventually, like as I said, I am borderline, not addicted, but I'm like, I want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Today I didn't go to the gym. I was too busy. I didn't have the energy for it. And I would have felt better had I gone to the gym. If I don't go, I'm not going to stress about it. But I think that because for me, it's something that's just so a part of my life. It's like I do walk the walk. And sometimes as well, I see trainers and I'm like, I look at them and I think, you don't look like you can train yourself, let alone your client. Not even in a horrible way, just honest. Like you look like you should train yourself first and then start training other people, because I think that you wouldn't go to a hairdresser with bad hair. So it's kind of like naturally you are you're like a walking advertisement of yourself. So I think I'm lucky that I enjoy it.
Yeah,
because if I didn't, it would be a real pain.
Yeah, but you probably wouldn't be in the field that you're in if you didn't enjoy it.
Exactly.
If you really didn't enjoy exercise and it wasn't like something you enjoyed doing, you probably might have picked a different path otherwise. So when did, because now I guess like Ciara London, Body by Ciara, it's become kind of a brand, right? So rather than you just being a personal trainer who trains people, people come to you for PT. You do classes as well at the gym that you use as your PT gym, and they're kind of all female classes, aren't they? And like really focused on like lower body, and then like there's cardio built in and stuff as well. I know. So, but when did you realise, right? Okay, now I'm going to take control of this and steer it in a certain route and try and and brand it and make it bigger than just being a personal trainer?
I think that I don't feel like I did. I feel like it just like happened. Yeah, I don't feel like I was like sitting there like Kris Kardashian, or what's her name, Kris Jenner, you know, like, right, girls, we're going to do this and we're going to make it, So I think for me, it was more just naturally sort of like, I think because I released quite a few guides and I gave away guides, and we had, I think, like, on the last one, it was like maybe like 8,000 or 9,000 girls doing it. So I think just naturally people it sort of became that, because where other people were getting involved, it was like, it became not like, I wouldn't even say a brand as such, but then obviously now we've got things that are coming within the next year, so lots of things are going to be coming out. So it gave me a great platform to start on. Yeah.
Did it give you because the guides as well? I mean, most people, like loads of PTs, wouldn't release guides, but I guess because you had that social media following, you probably got people all the time saying, "How do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this?" So I guess like and didn't you do one in collaboration?
With Glamour.
With
Glamour magazine. Yeah, that was really cool. That was a January one for it was a bum. It was like basically build a bum this January. It was like a New Year's resolution thing. That was really cool. And then I've done a couple of my own. I think also I've sold guides, but the last two I gave to girls who follow me, because
I've got them.
Yeah. Do you do them? No, I don't. Looking very guilty.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
No, and I think obviously because I figured, there's certain things I think you can make money out of, but I don't think that's the most important thing. I think that it's important to, I found that I had so many girls messaging me, and I thought, well, it's not going to actually cost me that much to
do it,
to write it up, to stick in a diet plan, to get it all done and get a graphic designer. I could just send it out, like put a link. It wasn't a massive amount of work, and it helped so many girls. So I think for me it was like, I've already got all my clients, I've got my classes, I've got all the things I'm doing day to day. So I think in a weird way it helped in your terms of building the brand, because more people got involved. So it's one of them things where like you do something that's quite nice, but then you get quite a lot in return for it.
So what you give, you get back.
Yeah.
I think for me, so I was talking about this earlier actually, but the fact that, so I'm a qualified personal trainer, and I do.
Oh my God, I did not know that.
And I did that when I was 25.
Yeah.
And I did it at a time in my life because I was like, I love the gym, and I was like really obsessed with I nearly said alcohol then, but I meant exercise, honestly. I was really obsessed with exercise. Yeah, it's like dun dun dun.
Yeah.
And I wanted to learn more. Like I wanted to know more, and I wanted to like know as much as I could. And it was when my sister was ill and I was working in TV, and I was started to have like stress-induced vertigo, and I was struggling to drive, and it was giving me panic attacks, and I was having it live on air, and it was just like, so it ended up I was like, I don't know what I can do anymore. So I decided that I would do like my qualification as a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And I trained people for about a year, and then I kind of after a year, we had like an outdoor boot camp company, and I worked as like a personal trainer. But then it got to a point where I was like, I want to be a presenter. Like this is really what I want to do, and if I don't go after it, like it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I kind of left the PT thing there. But when I would say like in the first like my like early 20s to probably till I was about 25, 26, I was like really obsessive with alcohol. Why do I keep saying it? I don't know why. I never was obsessed with alcohol. I'm not an alcoholic, honestly, with exercise. But then I think like when I was speaking to so I've known a guy that used to train me since I was 23.
Yeah.
And he was saying to me like you were just like a machine, like you were so on it. And then it was when my sister started to get really ill that my relationship with exercise really started to change, and it started to like fall out. And I guess when I had the vertigo as well, because I remember being on the treadmill and just thinking like I'm going to fall out, like because I'd start spinning out. So it kind of really changed. Like
you had a lot going on.
Yeah, my relationship with exercise, and I don't think I've ever got that relationship back.
You probably
wholly.
Subconsciously also maybe like associate it to a bad time in your life, so you don't realize, but like naturally you think of exercise and it's like it brings back memories of feeling sick, of like being stressed, or like, so I think we often do that as humans. There's like an association.
Yeah, like of me being at school and running across country. You know, it's that kind of thing a lot of people say, don't they? Like, I hated it at school, so why would I want to go gym? Because I was rubbish at this at school and I wasn't good at that at school. So it's that they associate all exercise with that kind of PE lesson.
Negative, yeah. No, I think what you need to do, I think with anything like that, is you have to force yourself to try and form a new relationship with it. Because otherwise you end up hiding from it forever. And like it's like sometimes, I don't know, you go to a restaurant with an ex-boyfriend and then you won't go to that restaurant for like another 5 years because you're like, no, I can't, it reminds me of him. And then you go back and you're like, actually, I like this restaurant. This was why I came in the first place. So you need to just like, go with your friends, and then you're like, okay, this is my new memory of it. I think I've had holidays like that, like where you go on holiday and you don't have a good time and it's a bad experience, then you can't help but associate that place with that experience. So you need to go again. And just like, because I think otherwise things like linger over you and it's something that you're almost like scared of. Yeah,
you have that. So I think about 2 months ago, I went to Toronto and I did my life and success coaching course. So
amazing! Congratulations!
Thank you very much. And I qualified. I did pass.
That is so cool. I really want to go to Toronto.
Oh, it's so cool! Really cool. And
it looks amazing.
Yeah, beautiful city, and they're really into like fit health and fitness.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
they seem cool. Canadians seem really cool.
Yeah, really cool. But since coming back from there, I've had a really different relationship with exercise. So it's really changed.
Oh, nice.
So I have been like
welcome back.
Welcome back to the world of exercise. So I have been like, it's like
on the ball.
It's like I don't know, like something's changed. So it's kind of like
you had like a ding moment.
But even that, the negative like old patterns still try and they'll be the first thing to trigger because they're part of my my programming. But then I catch myself and I'm like, no, like today. I was like, oh, it's Sunday and I'm going to train tomorrow, so I could just miss today and I could just, and I was like, no, so I went and did like a
well done,
so
good girl.
I made sure that I like ticked off the
list. I'm like that. I just say that, I'm like, unless I actually have a reason to not train, I'm going to go, because there'll be another day soon where I can't, I'm too busy, I don't have the energy, or like you just can't go. So like go when you can. even if it's for no reason.
Yeah, but also hearing you say stuff like, if I don't have time to go to the gym, I'll just do a home workout.
Yeah.
And so I've started to adopt that rule as well, because there's loads of stuff on YouTube that I've got like all bands and stuff at home. So I'm like, cool.
And you could just do 20 minutes.
Yeah,
done.
So I just, I'll do like a half an hour. And it's really, I end up like really sweating. Like, because it's hot in your house as well.
I think that's what's like important as well, is these days, you know, a lot of, and that's why I did the glamour.
Yeah.
It was a home workout, because we wanted to reach like mums, you know, like people who can't necessarily get away, who are stuck at home. And it was like, people shouldn't have to miss out.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone should be able to do something, even if it's just on their living room with like a bottle of water, you know, like exercise should be for everyone.
Yeah.
Not everyone can even afford the gym. Not everyone can afford PT. Not everyone can afford my classes.
Yeah.
So like it's important that people understand that you can still do it, and like it can still be fun.
Yeah. I think and I think that's it as well. And I think that exercise is for everybody.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I think it's like important that you don't have to look a certain way to do exercise or to go to
I've
a
had
gym.
that a lot.
Because I feel like people would say to me, you know, when I was a personal trainer, when I've just lost this much weight, then I'll get a personal trainer. When I'd be like, no, my whole point to exist is to help you reach those goals.
Yeah.
And in these first few months, when you're feeling like that, that's the most likely that you are to quit or to not feel comfortable. And I'm here to help you feel comfortable and to make you like feel part of this. And a gym is a space for everybody. And what I think people, you know, it's like people fail to understand. Like I was speaking to a girl recently who's a plus size model, and she said she would feel uncomfortable in the gym, but she understands that even when she got to her like fittest, she would still feel uncomfortable. So she just said that because she finds like gyms can be quite an intimidating space.
And do you know what? It's such a
regardless
shame.
of what your appearance is. I just think it can be intimidating.
Well, I have like one of my strongest clients is a lady who is 47.
Yeah.
Mum of two, you know, like she works, she runs a household, and she literally outlifts all of my other clients.
Yeah.
She's fitter, she's up for more, she's like so on it, you know, like it's ridiculous. I train with her sometimes, and you know, like she is toe for toe with me, you know, like, and I have other women who, one of my clients, she's a bigger girl, you know, like, and she literally, like, today I was with her, and she was like sledging 175 kilos, which is more than what any of my other clients are doing. She's squatting 80 kilos. She's deadlifting 70 kilos, you know, like, and she's doing it for reps. Yeah. So like, it does make me sad, because I think there's people who don't necessarily have the confidence, or they feel like, oh, I'm too old, I'm too this, I'm too that. You know, like, when actually you don't know what your true potential is, because you're busy talking yourself out of it. Yeah. And actually, like, you know, that is sad. I even said this the other day. I was in the weight section of the gym, and I was saying, like, it's actually really nice, because I was in there, 3 other girls were in there and 2 men, and this is like the weights bit, and I was like, yes, so the girls outnumber the boys now. Yeah. Whereas before it used to be me and like 50 men, you know, like, and I'd literally be the only girl, and I didn't care. I've never really cared. I'm like, I'm not bothered. I'm used to like male environments. But a lot of girls will avoid it because they feel like, oh no, I'm too intimidated. They're going to know that I don't really know what I'm doing, or what if I can't, you know, and then you're stopping your growth. Yeah. Because you're sitting there saying, I can't go in there. And it's like, okay, but that's where the heavy weights are. So how are you going to change? Yeah. If you stay out there all the time with the little like 2 and 3 kgs, you know, like, so I do think there's a certain element of us being our own worst enemies with that. We need to like talk ourselves up a bit more, because if there's anything that 2019 has showed me is like, don't have stereotypes anymore, because you never know. You know, like, you never know what someone's going to be able to do, and half the time, capable of. Yeah, and half the time we ourselves are the ones stopping us, not someone else. Yeah. We talk about like haters, or you know, like things like that. We're probably our own biggest hater half the time. Yeah. Because we sit there like, oh no, or like, I think we have an idea about who we think that we should be, or who we have been, and then we feel like we're being false if we explore a new avenue, when actually, like, you're just being true to yourself. That's a new side to you that you found out. You're good at that, or you're good at this. You know, like, sometimes people are good at singing, but they don't really want to tell anyone because they feel like, oh, I don't want anyone to know, because they're gonna think that I think that I'm something that I'm not. And it's like, okay, but if you can sing, then
you're just a singer. You just
you're
got
a
good
singer.
voice.
Yeah, like,
just the way it works.
Yeah.
It's really interesting you say that, because when I think I was reading a book recently, it's Marie Forleo, Everything is Figure Outable, and she talks about when you say can't, what you actually mean is won't. So when it's like, I can't do this, so I can't train in the free weight section, what you're actually saying is I won't
yeah.
I won't do it. And when you start to write down those I can't statements and you change them to won't, it really changes it, because then the impetus is on you. It's like, whereas before you were kind of saying, oh, I can't because, you know, there was some other, you know, external thing stopping you. When you say I won't, I'm choosing not to do it. It's a choice. It's not I can't. There's no way I can do it. I can't. Yeah. It's not. It's a choice. You're choosing not to do it. So simply changing that word is really, you know,
it's
interesting.
You think about it.
Because you do have to get out of your comfort zone. And that's the thing. It is uncomfortable, I think. Like, for me, going to the gym, and when there's loads of guys around, honestly, a lot of the times the guys don't know what they're doing with weights, and for them, I reckon they're probably feeling exactly the same, and they feel like they need to lift the biggest weights and the heaviest weights, and then you see them doing terrible technique, and you're like, oh my god, you're going to hurt yourself or damage your back or do something. But at the same time, it's like stepping into that kind of space, and I think, like you said, it's just making it just about you, like your time in the gym, kind of forgetting that the other people are there, and looking yourself in the eye in the mirror, and finding that best version of you.
I think that also what you said about the can't and won't is quite interesting, because I'm a big believer in like manifestation, and I don't want to sound like a, you know, hippy dippy, I love the universe, but I am a bit like that, just like, but and I think that's almost like it's like manifestation flipped on its back, because that's all about saying, I can, I want, I will have, I will be. And for me, like, anything where, like, it's so weird. I've had so many things in my life where I've said, I want to live there, I'm going to go there, or I'm going to buy that, this is going to be my car, this is going to be my... And just over time, I'm trying to figure out, like, what the key is to it, if it's really manifestation, or if it's just that once you say it, you follow through. I think if you're that type of person. But all of that, every time I've said something, it has happened. Just naturally, further down the line, I'll look back and I'll be like, oh my God, yeah, I did. I said that ages ago. And you don't realise, but I think the power of, like, spoken words, so same as what you said, it's like can't, won't, and it's like, in fact, forget about the can't and the won't, and focus on the can and the will.
I think the thing that I think for me is getting honest first, though. Yeah. And it's getting really honest first. So
with yourself as well.
I was talking about this earlier, because if I say, like, for me, I think my issue has been in terms, and by the way, it makes me I find it funny, like, when we feel the need to apologise for talking about universal manifestation, because I actually think that it's the most natural thing. But
well, it is, isn't it?
The world has made it seem, so it's like that thing where...
stigma.
Yeah, there's a stigma
attached
to it.
It's like what we said about vegans.
So it's like the most sane thing becomes insane, and vice versa. And actually, this is the laws of our universe that we... Yeah. So, on this podcast, you never have to apologise for talking about that. You don't sound tippy-dippy or anything like that. But it's not. That's the issue. That's why people shy away from it. That's why people are like, oh, it's rubbish. But actually, these are the tools that can change your life. But because it's got this stigma attached to it, you steer away from it and you don't do it. And that has a bigger impact on your life than if you just got over it and did it. But I think, like, for me, in terms of that, because I was in such a, for a long time, in such like an unhappy place, and also in such a, like, a victim mentality, that
woe is me.
So when I would think I want this, the feeling that I would have would be I'm never going to get it. And what I was saying, I don't know if I was saying this in a podcast earlier, but because I heard it this week, that someone, Reese from Yes Supply, said the universe doesn't speak English, it speaks energy. And your energy is your emotion and your feeling. Yeah. So even if in English you're saying I want, but your emotions are saying I will never have, this isn't for me, I can't have it, I'm desperate, like all of that kind of stuff, you're telling the universe a different story.
Conflicting messages.
But you're telling, that's the story that you're telling the universe, even though you want. So like for me, I had to go through I had to look at the I can'ts and change them to I won'ts before I could change them to I can and I will.
Yeah.
So although like if you're in a position where you already know that you can create and you can do things, that's great. But if you're like, I think it's a ladder. So if you're at the bottom of that ladder, you can't just jump straight to the top. Yeah. You have to take the steps that are necessary to get there. And everyone's lives are different and we all go through different things and we're completely different people designed in different ways. So for me, I had to kind of like unpick everything and then like rebuild it. And it's only really now that I'm in my 30s that it's starting to like finally drop into place and finally like come together, where instead of me saying I want this but really feeling like there's this doubt, now I think it and I really feel like it can happen and it is going to happen, but it's taken me a long time to get into that space.
It's a bit like, have you read The Secret?
Yeah,
I'm sure you have. But like a lot of that, it says like the law of attraction is like actually making space for something in your life. So it's like, I want to do this, or I want to get married, or I want to whatever. And then it's like, okay, if you want to get married, make space for that partner in your bed. You know, like they're saying like, I know, you know, some of it, I can't remember all of it because I've read it so long ago, but it says like take physical actions that match it. Otherwise, we could kind of all sit there and be like, I want to be a millionaire. But like, is it going to happen? Are you going to actually like, you know, like come down from cloud 9? Because sitting there manifesting everything but not putting in any work, it's like you might as well get in the line, because there's a lot of people willing to like sit and think, oh, I want this, but I'm not going to do anything about it. So be the person that skips the line and does the work, and it'll get you to the front.
Yeah, I think, and even if that work is painful or difficult or hard, or it means you kind of, you know, like
you have to make sacrifices,
doing whatever you have to do. But the other thing I think, like the making physical space in terms of, you know, like actually, there's a guy called Bob Proctor, and he talks about, so say like you are trying to manifest a partner, for example. That first of all you write down, you kind of do like a list of all the things that you would want from somebody, and then I've got a list, and then and then once you've got the list, what you do is you actually have conversations with that person if they're there, like you
I've been doing this for 5 years, talking in the mirror to my boyfriend.
But like it could just be like in the car, it could be wherever you are, but because the whole thing is, and what I'm really starting to understand, and what I get more than anything, and I will keep banging on about because I think people need to understand this, is that you can't have anything that isn't aligned with who you are.
100%.
So in sense, if I'm saying I want to be someone who's in a relationship with someone who's successful, who's driven, who's this, who's that, but yet I'm someone who keeps telling myself in my self-talk, I'm alone, I'm lonely, no one loves me. The two things don't match up. They're never it won't work. Yeah. So it's about you changing yourself first. And the way that this is what I've just discovered, this is why I keep talking about it, because it's actually worked for me, is going, right, okay, who would be the version of Claira that would attract that person? Who would she be? Yeah. What would she be doing? What would she be thinking? How would she be feeling?
How can I be more her and less?
And then once you know who that is, then you can start to become that person. If you don't know who that is, if you're not aware what that version of yourself is, you can't become it. So even for me, in terms of who is the version of Claira that has the end goal that I want, that version of me I know is someone who exercises at least 5 times a week. Therefore I have to, and that's why this change has started to happen, because rather than me just trying to use my conscious mind to say I know I should do this, because I've tried to change it on a subconscious level that becomes part of my behaviour, so I don't even have to try anymore. It's just something that's natural. So it's me. So it is part of who I am. And that's, you were saying, because what were you saying, that people feel like they're doing something that is against who they are, like because they're doing something new, it feels like,
I'm being a traitor, or I'm trying to be someone. Get
a new identity that suits the outcome that you want, because you won't get to the outcome unless you update and upgrade your identity.
Also, like, I think that works in so many ways, you know, like I've had whole groups of friends where like I have walked away from the group, you know, like I've been like, do you know what, you were my best mates for 5 years, but this isn't me. And like the person that I was then, that's not the person that I want to be in. So I'm gonna need to just like go and do this over here, and you guys just stay doing that over there, because I think we have to recognize who is our best self, who would they surround themselves with, what do they focus on, like, and then that's the only way you grow. Otherwise you stay the same. It's like one of my first ever jobs was in a bank head office, and like, you know, there is nothing wrong with like people who work somewhere for a very long time, but you know, like some of the people who I worked with, their seats were nearly molded by like, you know, the fact that they had been coming into the same seat for, you know, 36 years or something. And it's like, so that's fine, because for some people it's nice for every day to be the same.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to grow, you can't keep going to the same place all of the time doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like Einstein's definition of insanity.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to change something, and change is scary, which is why a lot of us, we avoid it. It's like, oh, I don't want to, put it off, and then it's like there's only so long you can hide before you look in the mirror and realise, well, this is where I'm going to stay then if I don't do any of that.
Nothing's going to change.
Yeah, I think like it's very important. You know, like it's as you said, it's like being honest with yourself, having honest conversations with yourself, which is hard because we often like to look at ourselves through like rose tinted glasses, and like, you know, like you'll be like, oh well, maybe it wasn't that bad, or maybe I'm not that. You know, I did this. I went on holiday with my family in the summer because we always go on a family holiday. And
I know, because I saw you doing your training like every day.
Yeah, by the pool. So like we go on this family holiday. We play this game. Me and my family are brutal. You know, like we're so honest with each other. And we played this game of like, what's the worst? We're going to sound evil, but what is the worst characteristics about each other? So it's like, they would be like, you know, I'd be like to my sister, I don't like this about you. My brother would be like, I don't like this. I don't like this.
This doesn't sound like a game.
No, one of my... I can't. One of my brothers did not talk to us for 2 days.
Oh my God.
You know, like, he was fuming. But... you know...
Just lost the game of Pictionary. No, we got a character assassination.
You know, like by the end of it, you have to be ready to hear it. Like, and the things that they told me about myself, I was like, rah, that's actually true.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. I do that. Like, I can't help it.
What did they tell you?
I'm too rude.
Right.
Like, I'm blunt, and I am sometimes. Like, I don't mean to be, but I'm very cutthroat. I'm just like, I just say it as it is, and I don't mean it in a rude way. Like, I will be like, you shouldn't have done that to your hair, and I, you know, like, and sometimes. Stop. You're making me die. My voice is going more and more. But I don't mean it in a rude way. I'm like,
You just crushed someone's soul. Sorry.
Yeah, like, I mean it like, I want you to look the best. So why did you do that? Like, you know, like, and it doesn't come from a nasty place. I don't have a connection between my brain and my mouth. Yeah. So it's just like,
what you think. You don't get to,
I don't, like, nothing
wrap
goes,
it in nice fancy paper
never.
First before you say it. It just comes out as
totally. I verbal vomit all the time. And sometimes I'm like, oh, shouldn't have said that. Or like, I gauge someone's reaction. I'm like, oh, that was too far. But yeah, so they said that to me, and I was like, when they said it, they were like, you know, I know you're honest, but like sometimes don't like stop. So then since then I've been trying to bubble wrap a little bit more, because sometimes like what we said, it's like the honesty thing, and like, you know, sometimes people aren't ready to hear it.
Yeah.
And I think because I'm ready to hear it, the other people are, but they're not. You know, like, so. And then they said some other things. I'm trying to remember what else they said. Oh, I'm an attention seeker.
I'm a rude attention seeker.
Probably am. I don't mean to be, but you know, you're just like, I'm just like, if they say it, it is true. You know, like, I don't think I'm like da da da. You know, trying to do, yeah. But I think just I'm a big character, so like if I'm in like a conversation with somebody, I'll just jump in. I'll just like say my piece. I don't know where to stop, and sometimes it's like sometimes I even say this to myself. I'm like, shut up, stop talking. And I have to remind myself to like just sit for a minute and let other people like take over, but I think that's just part of, you either are an introvert or an extrovert. Some lucky people are somewhere in the middle, but I've just always,
you're all the way up.
Yeah, I'm all the way up. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and so I just am like, so yeah. Anyways, but why did I get onto that conversation about my family?
Why are we talking about the game?
People not being willing. Yeah, so that's what it was. So just basically, sometimes people, I think it's good when you get to a place where like you can accept the truth. Mm-hmm. You can like, someone can tell you or like it's like constructive criticism.
I'm waiting.
No. I've got nothing. I'm telling you, you're good to go. But it's like taking constructive criticism rather than just like, like jump into a defense. Mm-hmm. Like, well, no, I'm not. Actually, you're this. And I think that's where you start to grow, where you start to actually like recognize.
Hear people.
Yeah.
Because I totally agree with that, and I think that's happened to me like and I can apologise as well. Like in the past, I would have just defended my behaviour, whereas now I can be like, do you know what? Yeah, like hands up, shouldn't have done that, or shouldn't have said that. Like that was wrong, and I'm sorry. Like I can own it. That's absolutely fine. And I get like I'm happy. I'm happy for people to tell me not about myself in like a nasty or spiteful way, but to tell me the truth about myself. Yeah, I want you to tell me. Like my friend, I was telling you that I'm not drinking. And I was talking to my friend, and she's been sober for a little while because she's getting healthier, and and we were talking about the conversation. I was like, do you know what? I don't really drink that often anyway, and I just feel like whenever I do, it's not a great outcome. So maybe I should just stop doing it. And she was just like, I'm going to be honest with you, you are not a good drunk. Yeah. And I was like, cool, I'm not. And like,
are you the crier or are you aggressive?
I'm wild.
Oh,
I'm wild. It's out of control, and I can't stop myself. Yeah, there is no off button. So it just gets completely out of control, and then I wake up the next day and have like terrible anxiety about like what I might have done, what might have happened. Like I'm the person the day after carnival will be like go and search the internet to make sure no video of me is surfaced. Me like I don't know doing what kind of madness like, but it hasn't actually happened. But I'm still know that there's a possibility that it could have, and it makes me really anxious and makes me really worried. So, but for her to say that to me, I was just like, yeah, you're right. And that was kind of like the tipping point that was like, that's not her being nasty. Yeah. That's just her telling the truth. It's actually true. Yeah. And if you can check in with yourself and go, am I, like for you, like, am I rude and blunt sometimes? Yeah, I am. So there's no one's being horrible to me. It's not an attack. It's just the truth.
And I think it's also knowing like, just because I think something's okay doesn't make it okay. Like, and it's like being empathetic to other people's feelings. Like, okay, when I'm really drunk, how does that affect the people around me? Am I ruining all my mates' night? Am I like, are people worrying about where I am? Or, like, and I think that's a big part of growing up. Yeah. Like I turned 30 last week. No, not last week, last month.
She doesn't even know when it was. She's been drunk
ever since.
No
clue. I don't even know. So sorry, last month I turned 30, and I think like turning 30 has made me like, you really analyse and blah blah. And I think it's a lot of what you've just said there. Like I think it's about growing up, like things like the apology thing. That I was literally talking about that the other day to my friends. There's someone who I know who they never apologise for anything. They won't hold their hands up to anything, and literally, you call them out on something, they'll flip everything on you. Yeah. They're just so quick to like, it's not me, it's you. Yeah. And it's like they bat it back. And then I was speaking to someone else recently, and they did something that I didn't like, and I said it to them, and then they were just like, do you know what? I'm so sorry, like that, you're actually right, that wasn't cool, blah, blah. And it made me be like, oh my God, I have so much respect for you, because it was nice to see someone just own something. Like, I think that we are an era of narcissists, like just naturally we're sort of all becoming that little bit more self-absorbed. We can't help it. Like, it's just the way that it is. We all have an Instagram. We all want to be a someone, or we all, like we all have a character that we play or a job that we do, and we think that we're more important than we actually are. So I think naturally we're all sort of becoming a little bit like less caring of others. Yeah. And I think that that's something that I want to, you know, like explore now as I grow up, like, you know, owning my shit and being a little bit more sensitive of other people, and also like even things like reaching out to people. Am I actually checking in on people? But not, I actually am not, you know, like I'm not good at checking in on people. So it's like I need to try and do that more. Like, how are you? How's things? How's your life? Are you all right? You know, like, whereas sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm so busy, but that's all about me. Like, take a step back, you know, like do some things for other people. One of my clients today was telling me that she volunteers at like a cancer
A hospice.
yeah, I think like a hospice. I can't remember what she called it, but every Sunday morning. And I thought, I literally applied to Age UK like a year ago. And then I think by the time they actually got back to me, I think I just was like, oh, I'm so busy now. Like, just, I'm not, why have I not done that?
Yeah.
You know, like, why am I've got all this time to go off and like make money. Why can I not just dedicate a bit of time to like somebody else rather than just me? So I think, yeah, it's things like that that make, and as she said, like she was saying to me that she was there last week, there was a 35-year-old who had cancer, who had an 8-month-old, an 8th-month pregnant girlfriend, and then she came back in this week and he died on Tuesday. And she just said it was very humbling, and it's a reminder that things are not that deep.
Yeah.
You know, like, and sometimes I think we need to like think before we get wrapped up in just all of our own crap. Is there something that we could do that might help other people who actually are going through a lot more than us?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like on my
to-do list.
Yeah.
And let's just talk about that quickly before we wrap up, that you are super busy at the moment. So when you got here, I was like, so when are you actually getting time off? And you're like, well, Friday morning off.
Yeah.
And then I finish at 4 on a Sunday and Saturday, but I do start at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
How are you, like, how long have you been having a schedule like that, and how are you managing that?
It's been like forever, like
Forever.
I feel like forever.
Yeah.
I said that to you before. Like, I have a PA and she is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I love her so much. But the downside to that is that someone else books your time, and where like you might be like, well, it's kind of like I'd quite like to go to brunch on Thursday morning, so let me just not, like, I'll block that out. There's no brunch, you know, like my PA is on job, and she is like, if someone cancels, she's got someone else in straight away. So like, which is great.
Yeah, you're in demand, that you've built, you know, that reputation, that you've got that many clients.
And in terms of productivity, it's good. But it, you know, like, you can hear my voice.
Yeah,
you know, like,
but you are the product as well, so it kind of means that without you, none of it runs. So do you have like a self-care routine on a Friday morning that you can fit in? Because that's
do you know what? Honestly,
what do you do for you?
My self-care routine is actually going to the gym. Even like these days, like, it sounds so bad, I get my nails done still, but like I don't wear makeup day to day. I've stopped getting my eyelashes done. I'm just like, I've stopped dyeing my hair. You know, and you're just like, I actually can't be bothered anymore. Like, I know that sounds like I've got makeup on now because I've come somewhere, but like I don't. And that's again another part of like growing up, I think, is like accepting yourself for who you are, rather than the yourself that you want everybody to think that you are. So yeah, self-care, you're talking to the wrong girl. I am not that type anymore, but I used to be. So for me, I'll just go gym.
But self-care, like, I think a lot of people think self-care is like getting my hair done or having a bubble bath and lighting candles. But for me, self-care, I guess, more is about like making sure that mentally, like my mental health is in a good place.
Yeah, which again, I go gym.
The answer to everything, the cure for every problem in the world.
No,
gym.
I do think like, honestly, like, right at this current stage of my life, like, I've done things like therapy before. That's great. I'm not currently doing that.
Yeah.
Right now it is work, gym, like, listen to music.
Yeah.
You know, like, I listen to a lot of music. Like, when I wake up in the morning, 7 a.m, I've got like my speaker on. You know, like, I shower and I'm doing a little dance in the shower. You know, like, and I do feel like at the moment I'm very happy. I'm run down. But in terms of like self-care, because also I'm single and I feel like that is a big factor for me. I am very much in control of my own happiness at the moment. And self-care, I go on a lot of holidays.
Yeah.
So that is that helps me. Like I try to go away once a month, or worst comes to worst, once every 6 weeks.
So you like build up. Basically, you're not taking time off. You're building it up, and then you're taking it all in one go.
Exactly. Like my evenings and weekends, I like the fact that I work all of them. I squish them into a little box, and then once a month or once every 5 to 6 weeks, I book a week away somewhere. Because honestly, like I was away for my birthday, and then I came back. Already I'm ill. I work so many hours. I get run down really quickly.
Yeah,
and also it's a job where you're actually like giving a lot of your energy. Like even today I did maybe like, I think maybe 6 clients and 2 classes, and that is a lot of like,
it's a lot
energy. Yeah. So like I think it's, even though it's not a physical job, like I rate, like builders and the men who like work hard, like I rate that. My dad's a decorator, my uncle's a builder, like they're all sort of tradesmen, because that is physical energy. But the difference with me, I feel like it's like constant mental energy where
emotional energy.
And I get people often at their worst when they're stressed out, they're pissed off, they're overweight, they're not happy in their life, or whatever. So it's me trying to like boost them up, and sometimes I get home at the end of the night and I'm like, I can't even talk.
You're just exhausted.
Yeah, my mum calls me and I'm like, oh, I actually can't even stretch a conversation. So I think for me, self-care, traveling is key.
Yeah, it's having that, actually taking that break and getting away from it all, rather than just, like having your evenings or your weekends. It's actually taking a chunk of time to take yourself right out of it. And then I guess just what would be, because what I think is fascinating about you and amazing about you is that you've taken this thing, and there's so many people that are qualified as personal trainers, as we know, but you've turned it into a business. And talking to you, it's easy to see why and how you're so, because you work so, like you literally every hour that you've got, you're working, like you just don't give up.
We're grafters,
but relentless. Like I probably have more. I haven't had a lot of time off. I am a bit like you at the moment.
Well, you're still here on a Sunday night at like
I don't know what time it is now, but I miss my cat. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, where's my cat? She should really be here, just like climbing around.
Yeah,
but I think it's that thing of, how did you know? Because you're saying, like, obviously, I guess I don't know if your dad, your uncle, they're all tradesmen. But how did you know how to like create how to create an actual successful business?
I didn't. I just kind of like stumbled on it, and then I think a certain element of it is like fumbling in the dark, and then you get to a stage where you realize, I was like, okay, I need to I'm not. Do you know what it is as well? Recognizing what you're not good at and paying people to do that.
Yeah,
I think that's really important, because I think sometimes like you could try and like do everything yourself, but if you're not good at certain things, they're just not going to be, one, you're going to probably avoid them, so like that will go to the bottom of the pile. 2, it's not going to get done properly. And 3, you'll probably make more money if you let someone who's good at that thing do it. So like for me, it was finding someone to do all of my admin, to do my bookings, to take my payments, and let me focus, because I found I was getting stressed. I was going home and I was like, I'm doing all of this, work during the day, and then I'm coming home and I need to figure out who owes me money, who's up, who's on what session, and who do I need to call about this day, and blah, blah. And I thought, I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be dealing with this. It's not my thing. And, like with my classes, I was teaching all the classes, and I was like, do you know what? I need some girls to teach them for me, because I can't do this. So like, it was like, okay, who can I get to do this with me? I think that's a big part of it. You learn to outsource. And I think like, there's that thing like, if you do what you love, you won't work a day in your life. Like I definitely work, it's still work, but it's less painful. And it's also like, it's something that I'm interested in. So like, I'll sit there and I'll like, I'll meet up with my PA or like a friend or someone like that, and on a Saturday night I'll be like, right, let's brainstorm, like over dinner. We'll do it over a glass of wine, but it's like I'll still be able to think about things that are inspiring to me, or like, where could we take this to, or what should I do next, or because it's something that I'm interested in.
And having, I suppose, that little support network around you that are on the same page as you, and having someone to bounce those ideas off.
Yeah, I've got like so many girls, you know, like my graphic designer is like a young girl. She's like proper cool. Then like, you know, my PA, she's a woman as well. You know, like my photographer is the girl who I always do like photos for the guides for. That's another girl. So they're kind of like-minded girls. The girls who train with me, they're my age. You know, like, so it's kind of fun. Mm-hmm. It's like being in school but at work.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, like it's finding people that you like to work with. Because when you don't like who you work with, work is really hard.
Yeah.
Even if you love the job, it's like, oh my God, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see her. I don't want to have to deal. I don't even want them to breathe. You know, when you're like in an office next to someone, you don't get along with them. I think it's important to like find something that you like, find something that inspires you, outsource what you aren't good at, and also surround yourself with people that you get along with.
Yeah. And that believe in your vision as well. I
guess.
Exactly. That's important stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. It's been amazing. And I know you've got loads of stuff coming up for 2020.
Yeah.
So it's going to be exciting to watch that and see how that develops as well. So
thank you, babe.
Congratulations on everything. Thanks for being here. If people want to find you and follow you, where can they do it?
It's Ciara London, but spelled like Sierra.
Yeah.
So Ciara, but it's Ciara.
Yeah,
that's my Instagram.
Yeah.
Honestly, or Body by Ciara.
Yeah.
That's another one. That's probably a good way to, because Instagram is just like,
is the thing.
Yeah,
it's
just go there and you can find anything.
Go there, you can find anything else.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And this has been another episode of Heart to Heart. If you're watching this on YouTube and you've enjoyed the video, please make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notifications and share it if you want. Thanks.